What's up, guys, and welcome back to the second week of this new series called Limitless. This week, we're going to talk about the labels that we give ourselves from the things that we've done and the good and the bad that can come along with that. So, let's just get right into it. You know, when we talk about the greatest of all time in sports, we usually mention a few names. LeBron, Michael Jordan, Kobe. And if we're talking about football, we talk about Tom Brady. And if we're talking about golf, we might talk about Tiger Woods. The truth is that you recognize all these names, and you know the good things that they've done for the game, and maybe some of the bad mistakes that they've made off the field, off the court. The truth is that everybody's known for something, whether it's good or whether it's bad. And the truth is that the people in your family, people in your church, people at your school, they're all known for something. You can think of one person right now, and you can even think of yourself, and you can think of the thing that you're known for, or you can think of the thing that someone else is known for, and you know whether that's good or bad. And the sad thing is that there's a lot of people who have done some pretty rough things, some pretty bad things. And those are the people who usually feel like they're too far from God to help them. And we're going to kind of talk about that in our story with Moses this week. Because although Moses was a pretty good person, and we remember him for all the good things he did for God, Moses made a couple mistakes. And we're going to talk about one of those today. I'm going to read from you Exodus chapter 2, verses 11 and 12. Many years later, when Moses had grown up, he went out to visit his own people, the Hebrews, and he saw how hard they were forced to work. During his visit, he saw an Egyptian beating one of his fellow Hebrews, and after looking in all directions to make sure no one was watching, Moses killed the Egyptian and hid the body in the sand. See, if you thought you had anger issues, well, Moses kind of just took it a step further. But seriously, Moses made a bad decision in that moment. I think we can all agree with that. And when you think about Moses, you think about someone who's sure of himself, who's confident in what God can do, who's confident in what he can do. But in this moment, I don't think Moses was so confident, because it even says in the verse that he looked in all directions before he killed the Egyptian and hid the body. Moses was scared. He didn't know what he was doing. He kind of let anger just boil up inside him, and he just let it out on this Egyptian. And we've all done that before. Okay, maybe we don't kill people normally, but we all do something, and then we kind of make sure no one's watching when we do it. And a lot of times, those are the things we don't want people to find out about. But the truth is that what you do in the dark will eventually be brought to the light. And we find out in the very next verses that people do find out about what Moses did. It says this: "The next day, when Moses went out to visit his people again, he saw two Hebrew men fighting. 'Why are you beating up your friend?' Moses said to the one who had started the fight. The man replied, 'Who appointed you to be our prince and judge? Are you going to kill me as you killed that Egyptian yesterday?' And then Moses was afraid, thinking, 'Everyone knows what I did.'" And that feeling of anxiety, that fear, really got to Moses. Just like it gets to all of us when someone finds out something that we've done. And what did Moses do when people found out about what he did? Well, he does what we all want to do. He ran away. He ran away from his problems. It says this in the next verse. "And sure enough, Pharaoh heard what had happened, and he tried to kill Moses. But Moses fled from Pharaoh and went to live in the land of Midian." Moses did what we all want to do when we're embarrassed, when we feel judged, when we're scared. He ran, and he hid away. But God shows up right where Moses is, and he asks Moses to lead his people out of Egypt. He doesn't even mention why Moses is there. He doesn't even talk about the fact that he killed an Egyptian man. He just says, "I need you to do something for me." And Moses does it. And the truth is that a lot of times we're afraid that God is going to hold something against us, because he knows what we did, and we're afraid that he somehow is going to hold that against us at some point. But God doesn't. He's never done that, and he never will. God wants us to do things to glorify him. He wants us to have a relationship with him. He wants us to do things for him. God doesn't see your sin or your mistakes as your definition, just like he didn't see that with Moses. God doesn't define you by the sin that you've committed. God looks at you and sees his child. He sees someone he loves, he cares about. And on his own, Moses, like most of us when we do something wrong, we felt exposed. He felt exposed by his sin. But when Moses ran into God, everything changed. And the truth is, I want you to do something this week. I don't want you to bury your mistakes in the sand. Because The truth is that God can build on those mistakes. He can build you into He can build on those mistakes. He can make something out of nothing. He can turn graves into gardens. I want you to ask God this week to show you what He sees in you. And that's potential. He sees potential in you. And I also want you to bring your bad decision to Him. Just bring it to light and say, you know what? I've done this. I've messed up. But I don't want it to define me my whole life. I don't want to walk around with it my entire life. The truth is that we can live beyond these labels that other people have given us, that we've given ourselves. And specifically today, those bad decisions that we make, we don't have to live with those our entire lives. We just have to see ourselves the way God sees us, with potential. And we have to bring those bad decisions to light, to Him, and get that weight off of our shoulders. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you next week. Bye.